Hey everyone, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here again today, and I hope that you enjoy your stay here with all of us. So today we're going to be doing a pick a card as to what your spirit guides want to tell you right now, what they want you to know, what messages you need to hear from your spirit guides. Obviously, this is a very general message, and I'm going to be sharing messages for multiple people, for different people, not just one individual. So just keep that in mind if the reading doesn't resonate with you. But yeah, I'm very excited. So let's just hop right into it. I don't think I have anything else to say. So, all right, let's get into it.
Hello, my love. So today we have 4 piles from which you can choose. Our first pile is amethyst, our second is rose quartz, third is fluorite, and our last one is lapis lazuli. So go ahead and close your eyes, take a few deep, mindful breaths, and ask your spirit guides which pile is meant for you. Once you have your answer, go ahead to the timestamp that I will provide down below and enjoy your reading.
Hi group 1, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the amethyst right here. So let's get into what your spirit guides want you to know at this time. So we have the 10 of Swords, not starting off the way one might. The Moon reversed. So Pisces, Cancer energy. Page of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Five of Cups. Okay, so there's a few different ways that I can see this. One way that I can kind of see this is that there might have been some sort of betrayal or backstabbing that has gone on or that could possibly happen in the future. Something that you might not have been aware of. I feel like there may have been some sort of like deception going on with this moon card, and it's coming to the surface now, because that's basically what the moon reverse signifies, is that truth is coming to the surface, confusion is being cleared up, secrets are coming to light, that sort of thing. You know, there's finally clarity on some sort of situation. So if this is in relation to, for example, like a person that maybe you have had like suspicions about, or whatever the case may be, if you've had suspicions about this person, perhaps just being disingenuous or having like a second face, your suspicions would be right in that. And your spirit guides want you to know that this person doesn't necessarily have the best doesn't necessarily have your best intentions at heart. And I feel like they kind of want to just like pin you down in some sort of way, or like benefit from you in some sort of way, if that kind of makes sense. Like, it's not a genuine relationship or connection. And when I say relationship, I don't mean just romantic. I mean across board, like across all boards, like of relationships. But it doesn't seem like this person is all that genuine, especially with this Page of Swords, which can signify someone really reckless, really dishonest, disingenuous, like I said. And I feel like if there has been someone who has been, you know, just dishonest or kind of fake or just kind of weird, or maybe you can tell that they're playing some sort of role or some sort of part, I feel like if you have had suspicions about that, that is going to be cleared up for you, and you're going to realize how this person, or you're going to see, or it's going to be confirmed for you that this person just isn't for you. For others of you, though, the roles can be reversed in the sense that maybe you are someone who is being a little bit disingenuous, someone dishonest, you know, putting on a brave face or putting on some sort of face to maybe impress other people, especially with this Eight of Pentacles reversed. The Eight of Pentacles reversed to me is like a wasted effort, or putting way too much work into something, or especially putting way too much work into something, especially to impress other people, to make other people happy. So if you have been putting on some sort of face, I feel like that is going to be revealed, and like you're kind of going to reach this sort of dead end with the Ten of Swords, or like the gist, or the what is it, like the for lack of a better term, like the mission will be over. Like, it'll be game over for you, kind of. And not like in a bad way where like everything is just completely over, like your life is over, but it's just like, the charade is over. Like, people kind of see through the BS now. Um so just kind of be wary of that. Make sure if you have been being a little bit disingenuous, or if you have been, playing the role of someone that you're not, there's a probability, there's a chance that your mask or your facade is going to be pulled, and people are going to see you for who you truly are. And when I say that, it's not necessarily like they're going to see you for who you truly are, which is a bad person. No, that's not what I'm saying. But they're going to see that the person that you were acting is simply not the person that you are. Does that kind of make sense? And so it's like the I keep on wanting to say heist, like the heist is over. But it's like the game is over, you kind of have run out of moves, that sort of thing. I also feel like if you have been putting in a lot of effort into some sort of like relationship or connection, or into something that like you just really want for some reason, and like you've been working really hard for it or whatever, the Eight of Pentacles reverse is telling me that it's kind of like a wasted effort. You're putting in way too much work. It could also be with this Eight of Pentacles that maybe there's an aspect in your life where you feel as though you're not being recognized, or that you are underappreciated. Maybe there is a Page of Swords in your life who is kind of taking up all of the credit who's taking all the credit for your work, and like saying like, oh, I did this, and people are kind of applauding them. This person is at the center of attention, and at the end of the day, it's just been hurting you and making you feel really sorrowful and just like sad. But if this is the case, again, I feel like that is going to come to the surface. People are going to see this Page of Swords for who they really are. Whoever this Page of Swords is, I feel like if they have been acting disingenuous, I keep on saying that, but if they've been acting disingenuous, if they have been acting just, not themselves, or they have been doing something as a way to somehow win something, or to benefit from something, or to take advantage of something, and when I say that, I mean it in a more kind of like negative connotation, then that is going to be revealed. That secret is going to, like, the cat is going to come up. Wait, what is it? What is, like, drag the cat under the rug? Or, like, the cat is out of the bag. Yeah, that's kind of like what I see your spirit guides are trying to tell you. Just like be careful of the information that you are relaying, especially with the Page of Swords, because the Swords cards is all about like communication, thought processes, like it's all about the mind. So having this Page of Swords, someone young, someone reckless, someone very brave and courageous, but they still have a lack of experience, I feel like they could get themselves into a little bit of trouble if they end up kind of being in the wrong crowd, or doing things to impress other people so that they can be promoted in some sort of way, or increase in status in some sort of way, if that kind of makes sense. I also feel like with this Page of Swords, again, someone very brave, and they aren't afraid to take a risk. But I feel that with this Eight of Pentacles, if you're at a job, for example, if you're new at a job, I feel like some of you might be feeling overworked and unappreciated, or like like you're not compensated enough. I'm so sorry if you heard that. Like you're not compensated enough for the work that you're putting in. And I feel like you're someone who has a lot of ideas. You're very innovative. And like I said, maybe people are taking credit for your own ideas, or, like I said, they're overworking you because they know that you're a hard worker, and it's like you're working so hard and you want to be promoted, or you want to, do more and, climb up that ladder, like that corporate ladder, if you will. And it's just not really working out in your favor, because these people are kind of just like taking advantage of you. They're taking advantage of your spirit and how long you can go, and with how long you can go with little, I guess, stimulation, or with little compensation. And so I feel like that is ultimately just going to hurt you. It's going to make you feel like I said, it's going to make you unappreciated. It's going to make you feel like sorrowful, like it's not gonna make you feel good, you know? And so I feel like what your spirit guides are trying to tell you in that sense is that, you know, that has to come to an end. 10 of Swords. I feel like these people have just been like, you know, putting all of these swords in your back and, you know, putting all of this burden on your back and just like pushing you down and pushing you down and pushing you down, and at one point that has to stop, that has to end. And I feel like the 10 of Swords is saying like this is it, you know, there, you can't go back now, right? So I also feel like with this 10 of Swords, this is saying like be careful as to what decisions you make or as to what you allow other people to do, because it could ultimately metaphorically kill you. You know, it could like really just like bring down your spirit, kill your spirit, and just like hurt you in the end, hurt you mentally. You know, like your mental health could really be at stake if you don't take care of yourself and if you don't set up proper boundaries, if you allow other people to overwork you, to just like push your limits over and over and over to the point where to the point of no return, to the point where you don't know if you can continue working in, for example, that sort of field. Does that kind of make sense? And so yeah, I also feel like with this moon card reversed, I feel like there might be a bit of like a lack of faith in humanity or a lack of faith in yourself. Or there could just be like not listening to your intuition. And again, like if you have suspicions of someone, if your intuition has been telling you, if you have a gut feeling that, you know, someone isn't right for you, that someone is just, you know, is a bit of a scammer, if there's a job that's just like a scam, if there's something that within you, deep within yourself, that you just know for a fact, listen to that. Listen to your intuition, okay? Don't just ignore the intuition. I promise you, you need to listen to your intuition because it's trying to tell you this stuff for a reason, okay? So don't kind of like dig your own grave, dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper into the situation, knowing in the back of your mind that this isn't the thing that you need to be doing, or knowing that this isn't what you have to be doing, or whatever the case may be. And then end up really overworking yourself. And like I said, digging your own grave, digging a deeper hole than you need to. Because then at the end of the day, you just end up disappointing yourself. You end up hurting yourself. And you end up missing out and not seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you, because it's like you're so deep in the hole that you don't see everything that is going on. All the great stuff that you could be achieving right now, you know? So that's just something to be mindful of, right? Okay, great. So let's see. Let's get into the oracles, the oracle cards. All right, so we have, is it 3? Yeah, it's 3. Okay, so we have 3 cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. If you're interested in this deck, or and if any of the decks really that I'm using today, they will all be linked down below. Okay. So first we have Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. This is telling me that like if you need help, if like I said, your intuition, if you need help in any sort of way to, you know, dig yourself out of the situation, to get out of the situation, to make some sort of progress in whatever way that might be, your guides are with you always. You know, even though you might not see them physically, even though you might not even feel them physically, doesn't mean that they're not there. So if you need help, if you need guidance, if you need confirmation for your suspicions, for your intuitive feelings, don't hesitate to ask your spirit guides, to ask your angels, your ancestors, whoever that you resonate or whatever that you resonate with. Do not hesitate to ask, because they will give you an answer. You simply have to ask it, okay? The thing about angels and spirit guides and all of that is that a lot of the time, they don't want to impose on you. You know, we all have free will, and they're going to let you do what you have to do, and they're just going to stand by and watch. Once you call on them, and once you ask for them, and once you do it frequently, like more and more and more, it'll be easier for them to guide you, to help you, because you are welcoming them into your space, into your life. So if you need guidance, if you need like reassurance or like some sort of insight, knowledge on whatever it is, if you need a sign, if you need a synchronicity, if you need something, don't hesitate to ask your guides, because they're always there. And I feel like even if you don't see them, they are always working in your favor. They're always conspiring in your favor. They always want to help you in some sort of way, whether you realize it or not, whether you are aware of it or not. So there's that. You have helpers in the other realm. Like there are people, or there are spirits, there are entities that are willing to help you and that are helping you. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you feel like you have reached a dead end, don't hesitate to ask for some guidance as to how to get out of it. And then we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So this is telling me that first, I feel like, again, you are like being guided. You are always accompanied by other entities, like benevolent entities, and spirits and things like that. I also feel like this is saying how, in order to build the life that we want, we have to build a foundation, right? And so sometimes we have to go through certain things. There have to be certain people that play a certain role in our lives so that we can learn certain lessons or ideas or concepts or beliefs or whatever the case may be, so that we can build that foundation and build a sturdy foundation. So I feel like Anna, grandmother of Jesus, is saying how everything plays a role in everything. Does that make sense? Like everything plays a role in our lives, and whether we believe it or not, whether we think it is significant or not, everything plays a very significant role in our lives, and everything is interconnected. Everything is interdependent of one another. And so everything, like this to me is kind of saying like how everything leads to a chain reaction, and everything is just connected. And so I feel like this is kind of just saying how, like, sometimes we have to go through certain things or certain moments in our lives or certain chapters in our lives, so that we can realize certain things. This isn't to say that you deserve, like, all the bad things that happen to you and, like, all the shitty things. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Please don't twist my words. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that we simply have to learn certain things, and sometimes we find ourselves in situations or in circumstances that might be a little bit tougher than others. And don't take this to like an extreme like level of like abuse or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that. But sometimes we have to like just go through those certain experiences so that we can learn from them, and like I said, build that foundation. And so I feel like this card is saying like how, like I said earlier, how everyone is playing a role in our lives so that we can build that foundation and all of that. I feel like your spirit guides are trying to say like, don't place so much blame on them, or don't like project all of this resentment onto them, because at the end of the day they played their role. Even though it might not have been favorable to you, and even though it might have hurt you, they played a role, and it all led you to where you are now. And whether that's good or bad, is circumstantial. But I feel like it ultimately is all supposed to help you in your growth. It's supposed to aid you in your growth. Does that kind of make sense? So that's kind of like what I feel that it's saying. And then we have take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. Sorry if you can hear the garbage dude coming by. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop filming. So this to me resonates a lot with the Eight of Pentacles reverse, this take a break card. If you are overworking yourself, if you are doing way too much than you can handle, if you are biting off more than you can chew, you need to take a break, okay? And I feel like some of you might need to implement very specific boundaries. And I feel like you need to, what's the word? You need to enforce those boundaries so that no one ends up kind of like trying to take advantage of you, if that kind of makes sense. Like if people are taking advantage of you, you need to set boundaries so that they no longer do that, and know that they can't do that with you, that you are not the one. Okay? I also feel that this take a break card kind of resonates with the Ten of Swords as well, as saying like, if you have reached the point where you were like lying in bed, like just exhausted, and if you feel like you have reached a dead end, stop trying to make that path work. Stop trying to make that specific way to do things work, because clearly it's not. Clearly you're at a dead end, so you have to re-navigate. You have to change the destination a little bit, or not even the destination, but you have to change the route that you're taking. You know, like there are some times where, like for example, we're in a neighborhood, right? And then you reach a dead end. You don't just like drive through the dead end. There's nowhere else to go. So you reroute and you navigate through the path of like the neighborhood, and you find your way to the house that you are trying to go to. Like sometimes we have to reroute. Sometimes we have to adapt. Sometimes we have to take in, you know, like the thing that just isn't going to change, right? Like sometimes we have to change our method of doing things. Does that kind of make sense? And so I feel like some of us, like, we really just need to take a step back so that we don't continue trying to force the thing to happen, because I feel like a lot of us with a lot of group 1 people, maybe some of you are just overworking yourselves. You're trying to force something to happen and it just can't happen. Like it's a dead end. You can't force a dead end to just open up to a path. Like, it just doesn't work, okay? And so, yeah, take a break, dude. And if you've been feeling this 5 of Cups energy, your guides need you to step back and reflect and just chill for a second, okay? If you are using work as a way to cope with your sorrows or your grief, your spirit guides want you to know that you need to stop doing that. You need to stop using work as a distraction. You need to stop using whatever it is that you're using as a distraction, and just let yourself feel for a second. Let yourself just soak everything in, allow yourself to feel, acknowledge everything. This doesn't mean to dwell. This isn't about dwelling, but this is about, I feel this way. Okay. Why do I feel this way? What is causing me to feel this way, and how can I go about improving that? How can I go about making myself feel better, or whatever the case may be? I feel like a lot of us, you know, we have this sense of like revulsion towards like negative feelings, like fear, anxiety, doubt, whatever the case may be. We push it away rather than welcoming it with open arms, you know? And when we learn to welcome it and just say like, hey, you know, it's okay that I'm feeling this way. It's okay that I'm feeling anxious or fearful. But how can I learn from this? What can I learn from feeling this? What can I learn from the fear, from the doubt, from the anxiety? What lesson can I learn with this instance, with this circumstance? What is this thing trying to teach me? What is the whole purpose of me feeling this? And how can I go about it? And how can I make it into a learning experience rather than something really detrimental or something that ultimately pushes me down at the end of the day? Does that kind of make sense? So I feel like with the take a break and the 5 of Cups, that's just saying like, man, I just need to sit down, to soak everything in, and to let myself know that it's okay to feel this way, but to not dwell in it, but to simply reflect and meditate on it. This is a really great time for you, group 1, to meditate, to reflect, to journal, to talk to yourself, dude. Like, ask yourself, like, talk to yourself out loud, like, yo, I don't know why I feel like this. You can even talk to your spirit guides out loud, okay? Do it in your own room, on your own time. If you feel crazy, I know, like, if you feel crazy, I understand, but, like, you don't have to do it out loud. You can even do it in your own head, or just, you know, write it out. Write out like you're talking to your angels or your spirit guides, and ask them like, this is how I'm feeling. Vent to your angels. They're always there with you. Vent to your spirit guides. Let them know like, listen, I've been feeling this way and I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And, you know, like, this has been happening, X, Y, and Z, you know, has really been making me feel this, this, and this, and I don't know what to do. And talk to them, dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with talking to them. Once you start talking to them and ask them for their guidance, you will see how much clearer you will feel and how much work they put in for you. So, next we have growth, right? So, like I said, a lot of us are going through this period of like feeling like we're at a dead end. But I don't think it's not for no reason. I feel like there's a reason behind everything that is going on, right? Everyone has a role that they have to play. Everything plays a role, in an impactful role in our lives, whether we realize it or not, or whether we want to believe it or not. So this is telling me that this is all for growth, okay? It's not for just no reason. You know, there is growth that comes out from this situation. You know, your guides want you to know that it's all going to be fine at the end, I think. And it's saying like how this is going to teach you a lot, and I feel like it's going to make you feel stronger and a little bit more rooted. I also feel like this growth card is also telling me like a lot of you, group 1, needs to work on rooting yourselves, on grounding yourselves, work on your root chakra. I have a thread on Twitter all about the root chakra. If you want to check that out, I'll like retweet it or whatever so that you can find it easily. Or I can just like link it down below. That'd be a lot more convenient. I'll link it down below if I remember. But yeah, so that, I feel like that's one thing. But growth is just saying like, listen, I feel like if you have been feeling stagnant, if you feel as though you have been at a dead end, it's because you need to grow from the situation. We need change. The only constant in life is change, okay? So I feel like that's kind of what this card is just saying. And then we have peace. Again, I feel like a lot of us need to start meditating. We need to start doing more for ourselves, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our spiritual selves and our mental selves, our higher selves. And we can do that through journaling, meditating, yoga, talking to our guides. There are so many ways, or so many things that you can do to center yourself, to get aligned, and to find peace within yourself. And I feel like a lot of you, group 1, are growing, and you're going through this period of chaos, so to speak, so that eventually you can find peace, right? So that you can find that silence, that quietness that you've been wanting for such a long time. And I feel like you have been wanting that for a while. I also feel like peace is just saying listen, the more you center yourself and the more you are at peace, even though your surroundings might not be the most peaceful, you are able to create a more peaceful environment, because everything that is inside of us is reflected to our surroundings and our environment. So when we're peaceful inside, that is reflected to our external environment, you know? And then we have fruition. So I feel like a lot of things are meant to come into fruition. They're meant to blossom. Whatever it is that you're manifesting or that you want to manifest, it will come into fruition. But that's kind of a double-edged sword here, and I want you to be mindful of this. Fruition goes both ways in terms of positive and negative manifestation. If you are stuck in this 5 of Cups energy and you're only thinking pessimistically and you're only thinking, I am not deserving, I do not deserve this, I am this, that, like this, that, and the third, like, you are going to manifest that, and that is going to come into fruition. If you believe that you are not worthy of a well-paying job, or if you are convinced, or if you convince yourself that you are not worthy of to be compensated, to be well compensated for your work, or that you deserve to be lied to, or whatever the case may be, if that is set in your mind, that is going to come into fruition, and that is going to continue playing out in your reality. So that is why it's very important that we are mindful of what we are thinking. We are mindful of what we put out in the universe, what our self-talk. If our self-talk is always negative and pessimistic and really self-deprecating, that's what we are going to receive. And it's an equal exchange, we receive what we give out. And so if we're giving out this negative vibe, this negative energy, we are going to receive that in return. And so fruition is telling me, if you want a difference, if you want to change, if you want growth, you have to open yourself to receive growth. You have to affirm that you are deserving of being compensated well, of being well compensated, of being loved, or of being worthy, or whatever the case may be that you want to manifest, whatever it is that you want to manifest, whether it's a job, whether it's clarity, whether it's spiritual guidance, whatever it is, you have to work on manifesting that. You have to set the intention to do that, okay? so that you can get what you want. And it's so funny because the affirmations that we pulled for you, the first one was literally manifestation. So you are a manifester. Your guides are letting you know that you are a manifester, and you can manifest anything that you want. But that goes both ways. And even though you might not literally want that, because no one wants that, the universe doesn't know that. The universe doesn't know the difference between what you want and what you don't want. It only knows the intention behind what you're thinking. Does that make sense? So here are the affirmations that your spirit guides want to leave you with this reading. So we have manifestation. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific and get ready. Oh, and get greedy, sorry. You are holding a magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declare your wishes out loud, you're actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Or is it just that in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen? Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting. Don't use that word if you don't want to. So that's what that says. And then we have perseverance. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Mount Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like frickin' pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. And then we have power. I am strong. I am grounded. I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. So that is what I'm going to leave you with, group 1. I hope that this resonates with you. If it does, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your feedback. Like the video, give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, share with your friends, family, loved ones, classmates, teachers, mentors, gurus, whoever. Subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com, and that will be linked down below if you just want to click on the link right there. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay, alrighty, I think that is it, and I will talk to you soon, loves. Bye. Hi, group 2, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the rose quartz. Sorry, it took me a minute there, but you chose the rose quartz. So let's just jump right into it, my loves. Let's see what we have here. So we have the 3 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles reversed, Page of Wands, 2 of Cups reversed, and the Page of Pentacles. So there are a lot of things that I actually kind of get from this. Hopefully I can get all of them at once because it's a lot. It's a lot of messages that can be interpreted from this. So let's get into it. So we have the 3 of Cups, which talks about like socializing, friend groups, partying, celebrating, social networking, that sort of thing. It could also be like drinking a lot, something that has to do with celebrating, again, like partying, clubbing, whatever it may be. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, which to me is like placing too much value on something. And so I feel like for some of you, your spirit guides might want you to know that you are placing a little bit too much value on partying, on friends. Maybe you're relying a little bit too much on your friend groups, a little bit too much on like your social networking or your social groups or whatever it might be that has to do with like other people or with like going out, partying, things of that sort of nature, or even like drinking, something that gives a sort of pleasure. Like, think if you're into astrology, think fifth house sort of stuff. So anything that induces pleasure. So for example, gambling, uh, sex, casual dating, that sort of thing. Um, and I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, this would signify someone who places a little bit too much value in that. So if this is the case for you, then your spirit guides want you to know that you are placing too much value on that. And I feel like it's important for you to step back and, realize the importance, the importance of it, but not overemphasize that. It's kind of important for you to not overemphasize a certain aspect of your life while neglecting another aspect of your life. Does that make sense? And so if you're going out partying all the time and not giving yourself enough time to, for example, study, that's where there might be an issue for you. And so your spirit guides are telling you to find a way to balance things out. I also feel like some of you might be losing yourselves within your friendships, losing kind of like your identity or losing yourself, just like trying to become part of the group or trying to fit it in some sort of way. Again, because you're placing too much value, for example, on the status or reputation of that group, and depending too much on what you might gain from this group or this club or this project or whatever the case may be. You're placing too much value on that and like worrying so much about how people might perceive you or like how you might gain from it in some sort of way, whether it's like physically like money or how you might gain from it, in terms of status, reputation, money. That like I already said money, but that sort of thing. So if this is the case, then I feel like this is a message for you to kind of step back a little bit to reevaluate your values, your morals, your beliefs in general, and ask yourself like, hey, like, do I really want to be here? Do I truly feel like my authentic self in this group or at this job or at this event or this social sort of thing? Am I comfortable being here, or am I just doing it because I want to be seen a certain way? I want to be portrayed as a certain way. I want to be cool. You know what I mean? So that's kind of one thing here. And I feel like you are someone who is very creative. With the Page of Wands, I have two pages here. I feel like you have a lot of creative ideas, and I feel like you're just so young and so bright. Even if you might not be physically young in terms of age, I feel like you have a very young mind, and I feel like there's so much that you can offer the world, and I feel like some of you might be wasting that on friends or partying or clubbing or overindulging in, for example, like very casual dating, like sex. And not to say that this is wrong, I'm not trying to shame you for that, but if this is something that you are almost reliant on or dependent on, that is where the issue lies. If there's an overindulgence in, like I said, casual dating, sex, drinking, substance abuse in any sort of way, that is where the issue lies, and it's time to kind of reevaluate that. And I feel like in doing that, in losing yourself in that, you ultimately lose your creativity. You lose touch with your creative side, with your passions, with the things that you actually want to do, with the fire that is inside of you. Because I do feel like there is a fire inside of you, but you're losing that. And I feel like you are probably losing out on a lot of wonderful opportunities. Ace of Pentacles reverse, you're missing out. You could be missing out on really great opportunities because you're placing too much value on this Three of Cups, on the socializing, on the groups. And I feel like maybe some of you kind of let your friends or people that you socialize with, even if it's not like close friends, but like you allow other people to kind of, I don't want to say necessarily tell you what to do, but they kind of, they drive the wheel in your own life, if that kind of makes sense. And it's almost like you give them the control, and they're the ones that kind of make the decisions for you. I mean, yeah, it is kind of controlling. But that's kind of like what it feels like, is that you give them a little bit too much power. Maybe you give them too much power or say into what you do, into your important decisions in life, into your your major things in your life. It seems that they may have a little bit too much say in that. And that's kind of where we have to like address that and reevaluate and see what we can do to change that so that we can be in control, so that we have the reins over our own lives. So does that make sense? So that's what I'm seeing here. And something that I really noticed, I feel like a lot of you need to start going your own way. You need to start being independent. Because I have the Three of Cups here, right? And then we go from the Three to the Two of Cups reversed. This, to me, the Two of Cups is already like a breakup. Having the Two of Cups reversed, to me, is a breakup. So this, like, the transition here is like, I feel like some of you might need to break away from a certain social group or like friend group or a certain way of life that is in relation to like socializing, casual dating, sex, overindulgence, partying, like being like that sort of thing. I feel like some of you might need to, I don't even want to say like completely cut it out, because it's not a thing about completely cutting something out cold turkey. Although some of you might have to do that if you feel that if you feel that is something that is necessary for you. But I'm not saying that it's for everyone. But I am saying that some of you need to break away from that a little bit, to detach yourself from that a little bit, be your own person, and allow yourself to pursue your creative ideas, your endeavors, and to follow your dreams, follow what you want to do. Don't let other people dictate what you do, even if they're not trying to, or even if their intention isn't to control. That's kind of how it's playing out. And I need you to take control of your own life, to realize that you are the one who takes control of your own life. You're the only one who is in control of your own life. And so if there's something that you want to do it. Don't focus on like, oh, well, will my friends approve of this? Will these people approve of this? You know, will I be socially accepted if I do this or if I don't do this? Or whatever the case may be. I feel like it's important for you that if you have an idea, if there's an idea that you have that you really want to go through, it's important for you to plant that idea. To like, because the idea, for example, or would be like a seed. The idea would be like a seed, right? We have to plant the seed in order for it to grow. We can't just like have a seed in our hand and expect it to like grow into like a rose or something. That's not how it works. It has to be rooted. It has to have water. It has to have sunlight so that it can root itself and so that it can eventually sprout and blossom. So that's something that I feel like a lot of us, or a lot of you, group 2, have to do, is that if you're focusing too much on social life and other people and like how they view you and things like that, and if you're placing too much value in other people's opinions, or placing too much value on like your social life, and having fun and your pleasures and indulgences, that's not really going to get you far. Okay, it's good that you want to have a social life and that you want to indulge in these things. That's awesome. But if there's something that you want to do, don't let this aspect of your life distract from this project or endeavor or whatever it is that you want to pursue. Because I feel like at the end of the day, this is your life, and if you're living for other people, then what's the point? But also, this is your life, so make the best of it. And if there's something that you want to do, there's nothing holding you back other than yourself. Does that make sense? So that's what I have for you, dolls. Let's get into the oracle. If you're interested in any of the any of the cards that you see, they'll be linked down below. Okay, so we have the initiation, a rite of passage, crossing the threshold. I love this. I love this card so much. So I feel like this is kind of saying that you have been led to this point of in your life for a reason. You're here for a reason, and I feel like you're being pushed to leave the part of your life that you are so comfortable with and that you have been in for such a long time, or for however long it might have been in, but I feel like it might have been for a while. If you have been in a phase of your life that just like is the same old thing every day, and even if it's not the same people or the same places, it's the same situations, same themes, if that's what's going on, I feel like the initiation is telling you that it's time for you to move forward, to do something different, and I feel like you're being prepared to do that, whether you realize it or not. And I feel like you're being faced with certain circumstances to prepare you for the initiation, for this new chapter in your life. And I feel like you're just getting ready to go from the old to the new, you know? And then we have warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? I feel like this is a really great question for you to ask yourself. Have you answered your deepest calling? And I feel like a lot of you might not have answered your deepest calling, again, because you've been focusing so much on the pleasures of life, on, on the partying or the social life, like the things that I keep on repeating throughout this reading for you. It's like you've been so focused on that I feel that you haven't been answering your deepest calling. And I feel like your calling is very impactful, and I feel like there's something more that you were meant to be doing in this life, but I feel like you've just been stuck in like the mundane of everything. You've been stuck in the life that everyone else has been stuck in, and I feel like deep within your heart that there is something more for you to do. I mean, we have the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Like, you are still young, you have a very young mind or a very young heart or whatever it is. Like, there's still a lot of growing up for you to do, whether it's physically or not physically, or it could be physically, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, whatever it is. There's a lot of maturing that has to take place. And I feel like I said, you're being prepared for that. There are certain things that you might be going through that are helping you mature in certain ways, in whatever aspect that might be. And I feel like it's preparing you to finally answer your calling. Because like I said, I feel that a lot of you, deep within your heart, that there is so much more that you could be living your life for, or there's more for you to be doing in this life. And maybe some of you have been questioning your purpose, and maybe some of you have been like wondering, like, I don't know what else to do, I don't know who I'm supposed to be. And so you have been coping by going out with friends, always being in company, always moving, always doing this and that. And I feel like deep down you're not happy because you feel like there's just something more. You're missing out. Does that make sense? And so I feel like your spirit guides want you to know that you're being prepared. Not only are you being prepared, but I feel like the time for you to cross that threshold and to enter the new phase of your life, to finally like do what you're doing. And like, I feel like the moment in which you discover your purpose, I feel like that moment is coming very soon. And if you know what your purpose is, but you've kind of been like rejecting it or denying it, for example, like a lot of us, let's say you have a passion, right? There's something that you're very passionate about. For example, let's say it's art. You really want to do art, right? And it's something that you've always been passionate about, but because of the society that we live in, you've kind of been discouraged from pursuing art because it's not like a practical career field. It's not something practical, it's not something, that is very reliable, I guess you could say. It's not conventional. And so people discourage you from pursuing art because it's not the thing that everyone else does. It's not something that is necessarily predictable, and it's not something that gives you like a set salary at first. Does that make sense? And so people kind of discourage you from doing that, and then you're wondering like, well, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what my purpose is. And you want to make other people happy. For example, your parents. You want to make your parents happy and be like, and impress them and all of these things, right? You don't want to disappoint your parents, but in doing that, you end up disappointing yourself, and you end up living a life that is just not happy and unfulfilling. And you already know what you want to do. And so it's up to you to finally pursue that. And I feel like a lot of us will finally have that wake-up call and just be like, I have to pursue this passion. I have to do this. I have to do that. This isn't to say that you have to drop everything and completely pursue that. No. But you start pursuing it little by little. And once you trust that the universe, in guiding you, and in encouraging you, and in just being there with you, you'll see how you will just be guided down the path of your purpose. Does that, I hope that makes sense. But that's kind of like what it seems like to me. And then we have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So I really love like the imagery between the initiation and share your voice, because I just feel like they're so they connect very well in terms of imagery, because it's like this is the dark spot or whatever, and then this is like what it looks like is that you're like sitting, it's like you're sitting over here, like looking at this new life, and you see like this new path or whatever, and it feels like you're hesitant to really move forward into that path, to go into that life, to go into the next chapter of your life. And I feel like your spirit guides are trying to tell you, like, don't be scared to go into this new chapter of your life. Don't be scared to cross that threshold. Don't be scared to go onto the other side, because I promise you, there will be so much abundance for you when you move towards the other side. Will it come easily? That's circumstantial. But I feel like you are being encouraged to share your voice, to share your passion, to pursue your passion. If, for example, if you are a writer, if you are a singer, if you're an actor, if you are something, if you are passionate about something that has to do with words, with communication, with your voice, with the mind, with, anything that has to do with, like, talking or just like words in general, like share your voice, right? Like speaking, like public speaking, or if you want to be like a YouTuber or something, whatever the case may be, if you are passionate about that, I feel like you're being encouraged to step in that direction, to finally start pursuing that. Like I said, if it's going to be easy, that's very circumstantial, and there's no guarantees as to whether it's going to be easy or not. But I feel like you're just being encouraged to get out of your shell, to get out of the cave, to just go, to take that risk. And like I said, this doesn't mean drop everything that you're doing right now in order to pursue this. No. This doesn't mean quit your 9-to-5 job. No. You need money, right? Money makes the world go round. Like, we have to maintain, a sustainable life so that we can pursue what we need to do. So this doesn't mean just take all of these risks, all of these blind risks, because that's not what it means either. But this is, come out of your shell, do something more for yourself, even if it might disappoint other people, because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your purpose. Other people had their chance to live their purpose. Your parents had their chance to live their purpose. It's not up to them now. This is your life, and they have to understand. Like, they have no option but to understand, and if they don't, that's on them. But this is your life, and this is your purpose, and if they can't accept that, like I said, it's on them. And if pursuing whatever it is whatever passion this is makes you happy, do it, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. What is the point of living a life that is not fulfilling at all? What is the point of living a life where you're at a job that you're not happy in? Honestly, what's the point? What is the point? And so I just feel like you are being pushed and pushed and pushed to this new life, to assert your independence, to be your own individual, rather than doing what everyone else is doing, whatever that might be. Okay? And here we have, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Pleiades. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it says double mission, channeling, and uplifting humanity. So this is your purpose. Like, that's literally what I said. This is your purpose. I said earlier, deep in your heart that there's something more that you need to be doing. For some of you, this could be a spiritual journey. For some of you, this is to share your spiritual experiences, to go on a spiritual path. Maybe to be a yogi. Maybe to be some sort of guru, or whatever the case may be. That is in relation to spirituality, or in relation to spiritual growth, or emotional growth, mental growth, whatever the case may be. Deep in your heart that you're meant to do this, and nothing should stop you from doing that, okay? And we have people telling us, no, you shouldn't do this, it's not practical, it's not this, it's not that, da-da-da. Why should we listen to them? That's based off of their own experience. Like, just because they just because they were not successful in the thing that they wanted to do, doesn't mean that you can't be successful in what you wanted to do. And I feel like your purpose is just so much more than what you're living out right now. And I need you to get it together so that you can live out your purpose, so that you can plant the seed to a better life and pursue something more than what everyone else is doing. And even if it's unconventional, even if it's weird, even if it's not traditional or not practical, that doesn't matter, because if it makes you happy and if it's something that you are passionate about, then you will receive the material abundance in order to support that, in order to support yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's what I have there. And then we have pleasure. So what was I saying earlier about the Three of Cups? That's what this is. This is pleasure. Some of you might have been overindulging in physical pleasures, whatever that may be, whether it's food, substance, like any other substance, partying, sex, whatever it is that gives you like a temporary sense of satisfaction, social groups, whatever it is. That's what this is. But this is also talking about how you need to go after what gives you more pleasure, that thing that gives you an emotional high, the thing that gives you a spiritual, mental high, not just the physical high, and the one that just like dies down after a day and then you have to like smoke more to get the same high. No, you need to pursue the thing that makes you feel so high on life every single day and you're never bored of it. If you already know what this is, pursue that. I'm not kidding. Pursue it. You are being pushed and pushed and pushed to make yourself happy and not worry about what other people think. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter what they think. It really doesn't. It's your life. It's your life, not theirs. They need to worry about themselves. And even if they have good intentions in, trying to help you or give you advice or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, this is your life, and you are in control of what you do, how you react to things, how you approach certain situations. It's all up to you. No one is going to hold your hand and tell you, yes, you should pursue this. Because listen, some people are completely beat down by life, and they just think that it's completely impossible to pursue their passions, that they have to, the only way that they can be successful is by working a 9-to-5 job and all of this other shit. No. Like, everyone's experience is different, and there shouldn't be anything stopping you from pursuing the thing that you want to do, So anyways, so we have the path, right? So this is like your path, and you see the ladder. You see the ladder to success. You see the ladder to the thing that you want to pursue. You see the portal. Listen, we have this portal. We keep on seeing a portal. There's a fucking portal that you have to go through. And once you climb up that ladder and go through the portal, you will realize that you will not only realize your deepest calling, but you will realize that you are pursuing your deepest calling. And I feel like a lot of you, like, you just have to make yourself happy, man. Like, honestly. And then we have the masculine lunar god. Like, this is all about how you need to take action. You need to take initiative. You need to do whatever it is that you need to do to climb up this ladder, go through the portal, and enter a new chapter in your life in order for you to be living out your deepest calling. That's really what it comes down to, honestly. It's time for you to take action, to do more for yourself and not just live the same life that everyone has been living. Because I know that a lot of you, you're just bored. You're bored. You're not stimulated. You're not learning anything new. You're doing the same thing all over again every night. Every weekend is the same thing. Every weekend is the same people, the same party, the same events, whatever it may be. It's the same thing, and that's boring. You need more, and I know that you need more. So your spirit guides are encouraging you to do more for yourself, to take action, to take initiative, because no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to hold your hand throughout the entire process. Hopefully there are people that encourage you and that support you, but there are probably also going to be people who are not supportive, and you have to be okay with that. You have to accept that, and you have to learn you have to realize that you can't convince them, and there's no point in convincing them, because at the end of the day, why should you convince someone of your own way of life? If you're happy doing it, that's all that matters. Does it not? So let's get into the affirmations that your guides want you to hear. So we have self-love. This is the first one. And it says, I openly embrace a feeling of self-love, the PG kind. I love myself because I understand myself. I love myself as the most committed partner I will ever have. I show myself love any way that I can, and when I screw up, I remember to be sweet and gentle with myself. If not, I'm going to make myself sleep on the couch. Got that, self? That's cute. And then we have sanctuary. And it says, good for you. It seems you've earned some time away from the chaos of life. It could be as small as a bubble bath or as big as a trip. Or maybe it's a small trip to a big bubble bath, or a normal-sized trip to a tiny bubble bath. Or maybe you tripped and fell into someone's bath. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you with open arms. Just pick your favorite sanctuary and unplug for a bit, especially if a bath is involved. Good. Then we have courage. And it says, no one is fearless. No one. But even though I'm not fearless, I am courageous. When fear shows up, I don't run away from it. I use my courage to conquer it. My courage allows me to walk right up to that fear and kick it in the nuts, then quickly hide behind someone bigger until it goes away. And then we have impermanence. And it says, life is always changing, and I drift easily through those changes, good and bad. As I drift through hard times, I can take comfort in knowing that I will leave them behind. As I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity nonentity. So that's it, my loves. I hope that you enjoyed this reading from your spirit guides. I hope that the message was well received, and I hope that it resonates with you. Let me know all of your feedback in the comments down below. I would love to hear all of your thoughts, and give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share with your friends, your family, your loved ones, teachers, classmates, whoever, whatever. And subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos, and I will... If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. Make sure to read all of the terms and conditions, policies, descriptions, just to know what you're getting yourself into, and so you know what my process is. And I think that's it. So I will talk to you soon, my loves. I hope that you have a wonderful week, weekend, day, night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever day you're watching this. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Group 3. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the fluorite. Yeah, you chose the fluorite. So let's get into this little reading and see what your spirit guides want you to know at this time. So first, we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus and Capricorn energy to me as a reader. So there could be a Taurus or a Capricorn that you're dealing with at this time. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the King of Cups reversed. Interesting. So this is actually kind of similar to Group 2 a little bit, because it talks about like going against the grain and going against like what is expected of you, kind of. So the Hierophant reversed, right? This signifies going against the grain, the unconventional, doing the thing that is not traditional, doing the thing that is like kind of taboo. It also talks about divorce or breakup or something along those lines. Sorry, I like had a brain fart. But that's what that signifies, right? The Hierophant. So for some of you, your spirit guides are kind of encouraging you to go against the grain a little bit, to do things that are, not to do the thing that is not expected of you. Sorry, I'm like taking off my shoes. To do the thing that, kind of goes against the grain, kind of goes against what is expected of you, even if it gets a reaction out of people. And I have the Ace of Wands, right? So for some of you, this is similar, again, like I said, this is similar to Group 2 in the sense that some of you might need to pursue something that you are very passionate about, Ace of Wands. Follow some sort of new endeavor, some sort of new practice, project, whatever it is that is unconventional, but will give you a lot of pleasure, that'll make you really happy. So that's something that, some of you might need to do. However, I also feel like with this Hierophant reverse, like I said, divorce or breakup, and then I have the Ace of Wands, which is like the dick card, so like sex. I feel like your spirit guides might want you to know that there might be some sort of like extramarital things going on here, and I don't mean to say this like in a... if you know for a fact that it's not happening at all, then, you know, dismiss this. Don't, like, take it too seriously. But I feel like with the Hierophant reverse, this is like a breakup. And then the Ace of Wands could be like, well, yeah, I mean, like, it could be like a breakup or a divorce or something. And then the Ace of Wands would, to me, would be like a rebound. So some of you might have been wanting to, like, get a rebound in some sort of way. As a way to help you move forward from the situation or move forward from the person, the breakup, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like your guides are trying to tell you to be careful and to not jump into anything too blindly with the Knight of Swords reversed. I feel like the Knight of Swords reversed is just someone who's going into something very blindly. They're rushing into something and they're going in full force, and they don't even realize what they're getting themselves into. And then once they get themselves into the thing, they like look up, they open their eyes, and they're like, oh shit, I didn't mean to get here, I didn't mean to be here, and I don't know how to get out now. I don't know how to leave because I don't know from where I came from. I don't know from where I entered. So I feel like if you are trying to, like, pursue some sort of rebound sort of thing, if you're, like, on the look for a rebound after a breakup or whatever, please be careful to know what you're getting yourself into. Don't just, like, do any sort of, like, intimate things with just anybody, okay? Make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that you're not just jumping into anything blindly. And I feel like this Knight of Swords reversed is also saying, like, don't jump into something just to, like, avoid your feelings, just to avoid your emotions, or just to avoid however way you might be feeling, whatever experiences that you, like, need to process. Like, please don't just, like, run away from the feelings, from the emotions. Don't let your impulses drive you, because I feel like if you let your impulses drive you, you might end up not only disconnecting from yourself emotionally, King of Cups reversed, but I feel like you might end up meeting the wrong person. Does that make sense? You might end up getting involved with someone who is in the King of Cups reversed, someone really emotionally detached, someone who doesn't really care, someone who has, like, zero diplomacy skills, someone who is just kind of gross, honestly. I'm not a fan of this King of Cups reverse energy. Someone who can be really emotionally manipulative, and someone who could probably be really good at gaslighting, or who has experience in gaslighting other people. So this is why I feel like your guides are warning you not to rush into anything right now. Don't jump into anything without getting to know the person. And this isn't like saying that you shouldn't, you know, have any sort of rebound or have fun or, like, you know, have casual sex, you know, do you. But, like, if you're going to do that, be careful and know what you're getting yourself into. Be mindful, be very aware. I swear to God, be very aware of what you're getting yourself into. Just so that you don't end up regretting the decision later. Does that make sense? Excuse me. I also kind of get this feeling of someone sneaking away with a child. Or there was, like, so the Hierophant reverse would be, like, something that is done, like, outside of marriage, outside of the traditional, right? So this, to me, would, like, in terms of, like, relationships and stuff, this would be, and especially with this Ace of Wands, listen, Ace of Wands is, like, pregnancy. That's, like, a very fertile card. And then having these two cards together, this to me is, like, having sex out of marriage. But, like, if you live in a culture that is very traditional, for example, like, I'm half Hispanic, I'm half Colombian, and so, like, I was raised in a Hispanic culture, and, you know, like, the traditions is that you have sex after you get married, and you have children after you get married, and if you end up getting pregnant before marriage, you marry before you have the kid or something, you know what I mean? And so this is, to me, saying, like, if you are in a relationship with someone and you just end up getting pregnant or something, or if you end up having a kid or whatever the case may be, something that is, like, outside of tradition, in which case having the kid would be outside of tradition, I feel like with the Six of Swords, it's like, I don't know why, but I feel like with the Six of Swords, it's like trying to be sneaky about it. Like, I don't know. I get the feeling of someone trying to, like, keep it a secret or whatever the case, like, something like that. Like, someone trying to hide it from the family or whatever, which makes sense because it's a fear of being condemned or whatever. I also feel like with the Six of Swords, for some reason, it's like banishment, like pushing away. Like maybe someone in the family, for example, finds out that you're pregnant or something and they disapprove of it, and you're expected, for example, to marry this person and you don't want to do that, or the other person doesn't want to do that, and so you're kind of like, what's the word? You're like pushed out of the, like you're like pushed away from the family. That's kind of like what it feels like, because I have I don't know why, but I just feel like this is like I don't know, I feel like this is like a parent and a child. Like a parent and a kid. And they're like leaving, and they're like looking down, like you don't see their face, like they're like looking down, and it feels like there's like a look down of shame, like looking down in shame, like they don't want people to see them, or like, again, they're like sneaking away quietly, like they don't want people to know, like they're doing something in secret, which I never get that vibe from the Six of Swords ever, but for some reason, like that's the vibe that I'm getting, so I'm just gonna say it. So if this is the case, for example, if you fear being condemned by your family or by your church or by friends or whoever it might be, I feel like it's important for you not to jump to conclusions with this Knight of Swords reversed. Be very careful to not jump into conclusions and to just like assume how people will react or whatever the case may be. I feel like your guides are kind of trying to encourage you to be a little bit more open and not be so impulsive. But I also feel like this Knight of Swords reverse is saying, like, if you already had like a pregnancy scare, for example, be safe and don't do anything that you'll ultimately end up regretting in the end. So if you're like having, sexual relations, without protection, you need to do that. Like, you absolutely have to. So that you don't end up in a situation where you could possibly end up being like banished from the family or from the church or whatever the case might be for you. Does that kind of make sense? In terms, I think I already said this earlier, but in terms of like pursuing a passion, you're encouraged to follow that passion, to pursue it. Maybe some of you might need to move. Maybe some of you might need this. For some of you, this can signify literally moving somewhere. The Six of Swords can also like relate to the internet. So maybe this is like a career or something that you want to pursue on the internet, like YouTube, Twitch, blogging, whatever the case may be, being an IG model. I don't know. I feel like you are encouraged to do that despite not having approval from other people or having approval from society or the church or whatever the case may be. However, you're also being cautioned and warned, like I said earlier, to be very mindful and careful as to what decisions that you're making, and you're not just jumping or rushing into anything, at the drop of a hat. Like, make sure that you have a plan, make sure that you have a strategy, make sure that you're not just moving to any sort of place, make sure that you are doing your research, and make sure that you are very aware as to what you're getting yourself into. Otherwise, I feel like you might just kind of like screw yourself over in the end. I feel like your emotions definitely have to be stable right now. Like, this feels like a big transition period in your life. And so if your emotions are not in check, if you are not emotionally stable, or if you're just looking at everything from a very analytical perspective, your emotions might need to get, a little bit more incorporated. However, if you are thinking of things very emotionally and thinking only with your heart, then you have to find balance in that and think with logic and analytically as well. There has to be a balance between the two so that you can make things work out in the end. Does that make sense to you? So that's what I have for you. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so we have Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So this to me is kind of just like saying, yeah, I honestly feel like some of you are pregnant or something. I really feel like you're about to get pregnant or you are pregnant. There's a lot of dirt. I'll get to it in a minute, but I really do feel like there's something going on here. So we have Akasha, right? Your guidance is divinely guided. This is based on the imagery. I just feel like this is saying like you are on your own path, And I feel like you might feel alone on that path, but I feel like you are on a path to your own purpose. That's really what it feels like, because this person is like completely alone, but like they're going into the light. Like they're walking into the light. They know what, like, there's this sense of like almost peace. Like, I know that I'm supposed to be doing this. I know that this is part of my purpose. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. Like, that's really what it feels like. Your guidance is divinely guided. And I feel like this is saying that your angels are always with you, that, you know, your guides are always with you, and they're always, you know, helping you navigate life, and they're always, whether you realize it or not, like they're always conspiring and they're always working to make sure that you are taking the right steps in the right direction. Obviously you have free will, and it's always up to you what decisions that you make and stuff, but I always feel like they're always creating the map for you to follow. Obviously it's up to you if you follow it or not, but that's kind of like what it feels like. And this to me is saying that yes, you might be alone in this path, right? You might be alone because no one approves of it, or no one, like, it goes against society's standards or expectations, right? So you might be alone in this journey, but that doesn't mean that you are actually alone. It doesn't mean that you don't have anyone, because you will always have your angels, you will always have your guides and your ancestors, and they will always be with you no matter what. They're never going to leave your side, ever. So it might feel, like I said, you might be alone in this path physically, and, you know, you might feel rejected, or you might feel like an outcast, but I feel like it all serves a higher purpose. It all serves a greater purpose than what it might feel physically. Does that make sense? So I feel like this is saying continue following your path to greatness, even if it feels really lonely right now, because I feel like you're being prepared for something greater. And then we have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? Yo, I swear to God, I feel like there's some sort of pregnancy going on. I feel like it's like a secret pregnancy, or a pregnancy that you're just not aware of. I feel like with this Knight of Swords and the Ace of Wands, I feel like this is saying like it was a very impulsive decision. It was some sort of impulsive decision that led to pregnancy. Like, it wasn't thought through enough, you know? And I feel like someone might not be too happy with it. And they might become a little bit emotionally disconnected. And they might not be ready. And they might reject it. Hopefully that's not the case. But if you're in that circumstance, that's kind of what it feels like. If it's not family, I feel like it would be the person that you had the relations with who just might reject it. In which case, that talks about how you might feel alone throughout the process of pregnancy if you decide to keep the child. And that's only for, like, obviously, like, not everyone who chooses this group is going to be, you know, pregnant or whatever. But for those of you who are going through these circumstances, that's kind of what it feels like. Obviously, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it seriously, dismiss it. You don't have to receive this message if you don't want to. But that's kind of what it feels like. And so we have Star Mother, again, the whole mother thing, but it says, how can you mother yourself? This to me is saying, how can you nurture yourself so that you can follow your own path? How can you nurture your growth? How can you nurture yourself? Or how can you nurture your own passions with this Ace of Wands? What can you do to pursue your own passions, to take initiative, to take action, to move forward in a new phase of your life? What can you do to make sure that you're good inside? To make sure that you are following a path that you know is meant for you. And then we have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? So this really does feel like, for a lot of you, like, a lot of you are really being encouraged to go against the grain, even if you were not receiving approval from society or from your family or from your social group, whatever it is. But even though you might not be receiving approval, I feel like you just got to do your own thing. You have to lead in your own life. And I feel like once you start leading and once you start on your own path, people will see what you are doing, and they'll realize one way or another that what you are doing is, like, monumental, I guess you could say. And you'll begin to lead these people, and these people will see how you are moving towards greatness, how you're on a path to greatness, and they'll see that, and they'll want to be a part of that one eventually, one way or another. And I feel like you are just being called that to just be your own person, to do your own thing. Like I said, this is very similar to group 2, where you're just meant to follow your own purpose, despite, but despite it not being something that is, traditional or conventional or approved by society. And I feel like you're just being called to step up. You're being called to, like, transition, to move forward, to do your own thing, to move, to progress, to take initiative. And then we have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? So this is saying, like, your time has run out in terms of following traditions, in terms of trying to make everyone happy, in terms of living this boring life that you have been living for a while. Now it's time for you to move forward, and it's time for you to step into your own light and to not let people or expectations or society or family or whatever the case may be, whoever it is, to not let them dim you down. And you don't have to continue, dimming your light, to continue trying to fit in, to make them feel better about themselves, to make their ego feel better about themselves. I feel like it's just time for you to step up and, like, to lead. To me, this is all about taking initiative to start moving forward, transitioning, to go into a new phase of your life, to follow your own purpose, even if you don't get approval. Because once you step into your own light and embrace yourself and nurture yourself and love yourself, other people will see that and they will want to be a part of that. It's up to you whether you want them to be a part of it or not. But once you start to follow your own path, eventually that causes a ripple, and that causes a chain reaction, and people begin to awaken and follow their own path rather than following what is expected of them. And so I feel like you're being asked, like, your guides are asking you, like, what is it that you're doing that is not authentic to yourself? And, the thing that you're doing that is not authentic to yourself, you need to cut that out and do the thing that is authentic to yourself. Does that make sense? So now we have will, right? We all have free will. It's up to you to do something about the thing that you're passionate about. If there's a passion that you have, then you need to pursue it. No one else is going to do it for you. And then we have action. Like, you have free will to take action. You have the potential. Like, you have everything that you need in order to take action to do what you need to do. We literally have the Ace of Wands. You need to take action. You need to take initiative. Whatever this is, if there's a fire within you, if there's a passion within you, then you have to follow that. Again, don't just jump into anything blindly. Have a little bit of caution, into doing things, but you have to take action, you have to take initiative, you have to start doing something in order to create a chain reaction, in order for you to be living out your purpose. And then we have faith, right? So have faith in the universe. Again, I swear to God, someone is pregnant. Someone's pregnant. I swear to God, someone's pregnant. I am just saying. So anyways, have faith in the universe, and have faith that everything will come into fruition and that everything will be fine. I feel like this is saying that it's just time. Like, everything has been building up to this moment. Everything has been accumulating for this moment. And you have to have faith that you will be okay, even if you are alone, even if no one is by your side physically. You have to be okay, that you have to have faith that you will get through it, and that you will overcome any sort of hardships that come with this stage of your life. It might feel as though you are in darkness, right? It might feel like it's just so dark around you and you don't know where to go and you don't know what to do, and it might feel as though think, like, it might feel as though structures are really changing, which makes sense. We have the Hierophant reverse, and I'll get into why specifically I'm saying why structures are changing. But it might feel like the whole world is completely upside down, and you might feel like you don't know where to go because everything is just so dark and you feel so blind in this world. But you just have to have faith that you are moving in the right direction. You know, have faith in the universe, have faith in your angels and your spirit guides and your ancestors, that they are guiding you in the right direction and that they are leading you in the right direction. And a lot of you might be seeing the number 4. And the reason why I say that is because I have 31 and 13. And they add up to the number 4, 3 plus 1 and 1 plus 3, they add up to 1. So I feel like a lot of you might be seeing the number 4, and then I also have 40s, 4 plus 0 is 4. I feel like a lot of you might be seeing the number 4. And the number 4 is all about structure. It's all about stability. It is all about, you know, it's like confinement almost. And so I feel like the confines of your routine are finally breaking free, and which makes sense because, again, Hierophant reversed. There are a lot of changes coming to life, right? You could also be seeing the number 6 because I have action here, which is all about balance and whatnot, and reciprocity and stuff like that. But we have the Hierophant reversed. Again, there are a lot of change. Structures are breaking down, and you're being presented with an opportunity for a new life, or there's a project that you want to pursue that you're just very passionate about, and I feel like you're just being encouraged to pursue that, even if you're going into things a little bit blindly. Again, don't rush into it, but just have faith that you will get there. Does that make sense? So anyway, we have authenticity. And it says, authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it, but at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it. And then we have get centered. When it gets to be too much, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my center. In my center, I have the wisdom and tranquility of my favorite animal, holding a magical item floating through space on a piece of furniture, so like on a rug or something. Clarity. And it says, stopping to listen to my inner self, I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar. And the mental chatter is the confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage, or compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. So, that is what I have for you, Group 3. Group 3, I hope that you enjoy this. Let me know all of your feedback, your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to hear your overall feedback and everything. Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, neighbors, whoever or whatever. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos, and if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. Make sure to read the terms and conditions and policies and descriptions and things of that nature to know what you're getting yourself into, and so that you know how my process works, okay? And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And I think that is it, my loves. I hope that you have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Group 4. Oh my god, I was about to say 3. Anyways, hi, Group 4. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you chose this group, you chose the Lapis Lazuli. So let's just get into your reading. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, the World, Page of Cups, Temperance reversed, so Sagittarius energy. Could be dealing with a Sagittarius, or maybe those are your own placements. And then we have Justice reversed, Libra energy. there's a lot of energy that has to do with balance for you, group 4. A lot of balance that is taking place here. We have the Six of Pentacles, balance, reciprocity, a mutually beneficial relationship. And then we have Temperance reversed, which is like impatience, a lack of balance, not being in alignment with what you need. And then Justice reversed, again, disharmony, a lack of balance, unfairness. Interesting. Very interesting for you, group 4. And then we have the World, which I'm pretty sure is associated with Saturn. So, Capricorn. And when I think of Saturn, I think of discipline. And so, looking at this spread, I kind of want to ask you this question of, have you really been disciplined in whatever it is that you want to do? Page of Cups, I feel like some of you are coming through as the Page of Cups here. Someone very dreamy. Like, you daydream all of the time. You're always staring at your window and you're like, wow, like, I really, like, this would be such a wonderful life to live. And always just thinking of all of these scenarios, like, fantasizing about the life that you could be living, yet you're not living it. And I feel like for some of you, it might have to do with the fact that you're not actually going through with any sort of action to live that sort of life or lifestyle. There's some sort of like lack of patience, especially with this Temperance reverse. There's some sort of like lack of patience, or like you're not doing enough in order to be living the life that you want to live. And I feel like with this Page of Cups, it's almost like you're expecting everything to kind of fall in your lap, or you're expecting that the unexpected will happen to you, even though you haven't really done anything to go through with the thing, if that kind of makes sense. You know, like, you haven't put any sort of action, you haven't put your, you haven't done anything on your end in order to receive the thing that you want. Does that make sense? Because we have the Six of Pentacles, right? Which is like a mutually beneficial relationship. It's a give and take. I feel like some of you might not have been going through with this relationship. Even though the card is upright, which would signify like there is a give and take, I feel like there just isn't give and take going on here. Because I have Temperance reversed and Justice reversed, which would be imbalance. Imbalance, not in alignment with what you want. Not in alignment with yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And so I feel like for some of you, your guides might be trying to tell you that you're not putting in enough work and you need to put in more work. And I feel like some of you might need to be a little bit more in alignment with what you truly want. I feel like some of you might be functioning based off of your ego, not based off of, for example, your purpose or your life path. Or, some of you might not be focusing on like genuine like interest in whatever it is that you want. You're kind of like, I want this thing because it makes me feel good, or it makes my ego feel good. It gives me a temporary sense of pleasure. I feel like some of you might be focusing a little bit too much on like how to gain something physically or materially. So for example, maybe some of you are a little bit too focused on money, reputation, status, wealth, stability, security, whatever that might be for you. You might be focusing a little bit too much on that and not focusing on what you need spiritually, what you need emotionally, mentally, that sort of thing. And so Temperance reverse is telling you that you need to align with your spirituality. You need to get in tune with your spirituality, with your intuition, with your higher self, with your higher, with your guides, with the higher realm. Because I feel like there's an imbalance in terms of that. And I feel like some of you might have been manifesting or trying to manifest some sort of life. Maybe some of you are trying to manifest like travels, like traveling long distance or moving to a different place, like a different country, whatever, like long distance travel. Maybe some of you are trying to manifest that, but you haven't necessarily been giving anything to the universe in return. And I feel like the universe is saying like, yo, you need to give something in return so that there can be an equal exchange between us. Because it's not just you taking from the universe. It's you also giving back to the universe in some sort of way, okay? There has to be an equal balance to that, rather than the universe just giving you all of this stuff. For some reason, my eyes keep on, like, focusing on the person receiving the crumbs in the Six of Pentacles. I feel like some of you might be, like, begging and begging and begging for crumbs of something, but you haven't necessarily been putting in the work to do more or to receive more. Does that make sense? Obviously, like, if you're, like, literally homeless or something, like, that's not what I mean, and, like, it is, and I'm not, like, necessarily, I'm not trying to blame you, or whatever, or point the finger, or whatever it is, but if you, like, this all just ties back to what I was saying earlier, so I'm not gonna, like, beat a dead horse with a stick, but that's kind of, like, what it feels like, and so I feel like your spirit guides are trying to tell you to be a little bit more patient and to use your imagination, yes, to manifest and to do wonderful things, but you also have to find a plan. You have to figure out a plan to actually go through with whatever it is that you want, not just, like, imagine or fantasize or romanticize whatever it is that you want. And I feel like in order for you to, you know, to turn the idea into something tangible, you have to align with yourself. You have to align with your spirituality, with your higher self, like I kept on saying. There has to be a sense of balance, because right now it doesn't seem like there is any sort of balance. The world also signifies like some sort of phase of your life ending and then entering a new one, which is interesting. Some of you might be entering a new phase in your life, or you need to enter a new phase of your life. But I feel like in order for you to do that, maybe some of you need to grow up a little bit. Because with this page, this is someone young, a little bit immature, emotionally immature. A lot of potential, though. A lot of really great, like, manifestation skills. A lot of really great, like, emotional depth. But it has to be fine-tuned. There has to be a sense of maturity that is achieved here. And I feel like that is only gained through time and through experience. And so if you're trying to rush into something, whatever that might be, you need to have more patience. And you need to be able to compromise and not just expect everything to be perfect on the first try. I also, like, there's something that's going on with this Justice card. I can't quite pin it, what it is. But with Justice reversed, this is imbalance. I wonder if with this Justice card, there's some sort of karma that you haven't dealt with yet. There's some sort of karma that you haven't quite finished off yet. So for some of you, justice might signify that there's some sort of lesson that you have to learn, or like some sort of karmic scale that has to be balanced out before you're able to really move forward and before you can actually truly align yourself. Does that make sense? But I see a big theme here of, like, balance and reciprocity. And, like, just give and take. That's really what it seems like. Give and take. Let's see what else we can get. So we have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of manifestation that has been going down, and I feel like a lot of you have been trying to manifest a better life for yourselves. Again, you know, you're entering a new phase of your life. So, you know, something has ended for another thing to begin, and I feel like you have been manifesting a lot or trying to manifest a lot. You have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that you want in life, a lot of things that you desire, and I feel like you have the potential to do that. However, there's some fine-tuning that has to take place, but also just patience. I feel like you have to align with yourself spiritually so that you can end up actually manifesting, because while there is potential, it might not be used in the right way because of the impatience and also because of the misalignment. Whether it's because you're more aligned with your ego and not with, like, gratitude, or because you're just impatient. So that's kind of like what it feels like, is that you're creating a heaven on earth. You're creating a new life for yourself. You're creating something new. Like, it's all happening, whether you see it or not. Like, really great things are happening. We have deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. So I feel like some of you, if you're trying to rush something, again, with the whole impatience, you need to take a break. You need to slow down so that you can rejuvenate, so that you can kind of refresh from the chapter of your life ending, because I feel like it might have exhausted you more than you want to admit. And this isn't necessarily like a bad thing. I'm not saying that like you're exhausted, like, or like to the point of like everything is done, but I'm saying like you might be feeling a little bit drained or tired because it was something that you had to get through. And I feel like some of you need to just have a little bit more patience with yourself and with life, because I feel like whatever it is that you want, you're getting it. Like, you are going to receive it, but I need you to slow down a bit, to not rush into it, to not just jump, you know? Does that make sense? We have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. I like this. Do something to change your energy. If you have been feeling really impatient, or you're always thinking, I want this, I want this, I want this, and you're kind of coming from a place of lack, I feel like this dance with life is really resonant with this temperance card. Do something to align with yourself. This to me talks about like meditating. If you have been feeling pessimistic, meditate, do yoga, journal, be mindful, be very conscious of your actions, of your behaviors, of your self-talk, of your thought processes, of like, be very mindful of yourself and of your life and how you live your life. Be very mindful, be very aware, be very conscious as to what you are doing so that you can pinpoint the thing that needs to change within yourself, so that you can be in better alignment with your purpose and better alignment with your spirituality and your higher self and your angel, spirit guides, ancestors, things of that nature. This can literally mean like dancing, but do something to raise your vibration, because I feel like with this deep replenishment, some of you might be feeling really drained, and so dance with life is saying like you need to do something to raise your vibration, whether it's literally resting and taking a nap, or meditating, or dancing, or drawing, doing something creative, something that tunes you in with your creative self, with your with your creativity, with your light, with your passions. I feel like doing that will help you not only rest and feel rejuvenated, but get you back in alignment with your spirituality and things like that, like I said. And then we have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. So everything that is happening right now, like everything that you want, it is all coming together. Like I said, you're creating heaven on earth right now. You're creating a paradise for yourself, but you need to be careful of not rushing into it. You need to be very mindful to not push yourself. You need to be very mindful to not do more than you can handle. Be very careful of biting off more than you can chew, because right now it's very imperative that you are full of energy and that you are very present and aware of what is all coming together. Some of you might be receiving like a lot of intuitive messages, like psychic messages or whatever that might be. And if you're not, it's because you're not in alignment, in which case your spirit guides are telling you that you need to be in alignment. I feel like your spirit guides might really be trying to talk to you, to communicate with you, in which case you need to meditate, you need to practice some yoga, you need to journal, you need to call on them, you need to pray on their energy, you need to actively try to get in contact with them, because I feel like they are trying to talk to you. And that's why you need to be resting. If you don't have full energy, then you're not going to be able to see what they're trying to tell you, because they are at such a high vibration. That is why you need to be making sure that you are taking care of yourself, that you are well rested, that you are well nourished. And I feel like there are a lot of wonderful changes that are coming in your life. I feel like it's all, like, you've been manifesting this for a while, and I'm very happy for you. I'm very proud of you. But again, with the whole patience thing, like, I keep on having to repeat it, but be patient, yo. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. Okay, so now we have fear. This was very interesting. I feel like Group 4, if you have been feeling fearful as to this new chapter in your life, and if that's why you have been feeling a little bit out of alignment because you have been functioning based off of fear, ego, doubt, anxiety, whatever the case might be, I feel like your spirit guides want you to know and want to reassure you that there's nothing to be afraid of, okay? There's no reason to be afraid of any sort of chaos or whatever that it is that you are fearful over. There's nothing to be fearful over because you are in control of your own life, and that makes sense because we have Queen of the Moon sovereignty, which is all about how you are in control of your own life. You are in control of your own actions or your own reactions of how you approach certain situations. There's nothing to be fearful over. You can control the fear within you. And rather than rejecting the fear, rather than pushing it away and like trying to ignore it, embrace it, welcome it with open arms, and ask that fear what lesson it is trying to teach you. What can you learn from this fear? What can you learn from the anxiety, from the doubt? Take it as a life lesson or as a learning experience for you. And don't be afraid of the fear, essentially. And if you ever feel fearful, if you ever feel misaligned or like you are losing the alignment that you are in, do something to change your energy. Do something different. Do something to raise your vibration and for you to feel more in control. Show fear that you are in control of it and that it is not in control of you, okay? Because you are very, very powerful. We literally have power. We have, like, this is all showing how you are so powerful and you are in control of everything here. Okay, you are a master manifester right here. So it's up to you to take control of the reins and to not let fear drive you, to not let fear control you, to not let the chaos overwhelm you. Because you are a powerful being, so it's important for you to step into your own power. Because you have everything that you need. You have all the capabilities, all of the abilities, all of the skills, the whatever it is, all the knowledge that you need, all of the wisdom that you need, which is perfect because we do have wisdom here. You have everything that you need in order to get through this phase, to get through this patch. Whatever, if it's like a rough patch, you have everything that you need in order to get through it, and you are going to be completely okay. Don't let the fear take control of you. You are in control of your own life. You reign over your own life, okay? If you ever feel out of control, remind yourself that you are the one who is in control. We are just living in a simulation. You're the one who has the controller in their hands. You are the only one who has your own controller in your own hands. So take control, okay? Don't let fear control you because you are a very powerful being. And I feel like right now you are just going through this phase of life where you're just learning so much. You are learning so much. And if there's something that you are not very well versed in, if there's something that you don't know enough about, research. Do more research or ask someone who is well versed in that topic. You know, don't be afraid to ask for advice or for a mentor. Don't be afraid to look for a mentor or whatever the case may be. I feel like this is really a phase in your life where you're just learning a lot. And you're going to be able to implement that energy into your life. Some of you might be seeing the numbers 11 and 22 a lot because that's what these two cards are, 11 and 22. You could also be seeing the number 4 and 2. 11, 22, 4, and 2. You could also be seeing the number 7 with this 16. 1 plus 7 is 16. And then you could be seeing the number 5 because this is 41. So, and then 5 is also all about like change. So I feel like you're kind of going through this transition period in your life, group 4, and I feel like it's all for the better and you're creating a better life for yourself. You're creating like heaven on earth right now, which is really wonderful. I feel like you're creating your own version of paradise, which I'm just really happy about. So yeah, let's get into these affirmations that your guides want you to hear. So we have, don't take it personally. If someone starts to speak unkindly to me, I'll remember that they've got something going on that has nothing to do with me. Like maybe they just pooped their pants. Yeah, that's probably it. And then we have no need to do. I like this one, and I feel like it resonates a lot with the whole patience and impatience thing that I've been saying. I'm exactly where I need to be, exactly when I need to be. There's nothing more I need to do. I mean, yes, there will always be laundry and taxes, but in terms of my life's path, I don't need to do anything because I am already here. I take a deep breath, relax, and trust, and then do laundry. We have ups and downs. I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but they're also what makes things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. And then we have no judgment. I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic and I call it to my office and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? And that is it, my loves. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to hear all of your feedback, your thoughts, any of what you want to tell me. Let me know in the comments down below. What else? Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it. Share with your friends, your family, loved ones. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link is down below if you just want to go there. And what else? You can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So, my loves, that is all that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. And I will talk to you soon.